Hi, this is Rob Pierce with worshipbasics.com, and I would like to talk with you about attracting visitors. How do you get people to come to your new contemporary worship service? Well, what's the point in having a contemporary worship service if you don't use it as an outreach to members of your community? That's the whole reason most churches start contemporary services, because they have a heart to reach people for Christ in their community and get in touch often with a younger generation. Outreach really is the whole point. When Jesus gave us the Great Commission, it was a command, not a suggestion. He said, "Go ye therefore into all the world and make disciples." It was something he expected the church to do. It's our whole point for being, really. We spend a lot of time preaching to the choir in church, and it is important to minister to those who are already saved, but it's certainly also important that we reach the lost. And healthy churches focus out, not in. Most churches that are thriving are ones that have a real outward focus instead of just caring for those that are already in their community. Well, direct invitations is the absolute best way to get people to come into your church for a contemporary service or any other one. Most visitors come by invitation from someone they already know. The vast majority of people who come into your church for the first time came because somebody who's a member that they already knew invited them to come. So you should do everything that you can to encourage current members of your church to reach out and invite people who are not current members. Have a visitor Sunday. A lot of churches do this already, but if you have a very specific targeted Sunday that you choose, that you have members of your church invite people, and everybody's going to make every effort to make that Sunday the most visitor-friendly possible Sunday that they can have. The sermon, the music, everything is designed specifically with visitors in mind. It's just a very wise way to go, and it's very effective when it comes to bringing people into church, especially for a new service. Gives them a chance to try it out. Have entry events. We'll talk more specifically about special ones that you can do later on a separate slide. And also, children's ministries are a great way to get people involved in the church too. We'll talk about specific ones later. Print media is a great way to get people involved in the church, to let them know you're there, let them know that you're holding a new service. Newspaper ads, of course, are a great idea. If you're starting a new service, take out a big newspaper ad and run it for weeks. The more you can run an ad, the more people are familiar with your church and what you do and your service times. It's just the best way to go. Newspaper ads are really pretty cost effective. Even if you do have to spend a little money, it's money well spent. Direct mail or targeted delivery. Your community, your neighborhood, the people that you know who are around your church, you could do a direct mailing campaign, or you could just have members of your congregation hand deliver stuff into mailboxes in the surrounding community to advertise special events or things. That's one way that you can do things. Flyers and posters are another. You can hang these up at usually post offices, in the grocery stores, banks in your community. Spread the word that way about special events, special things that you're doing at the church, the beginning of your new service. Spread the word that way. It's pretty effective. Banners and signs are a great idea. The bigger the better. If you can post a big banner that spans the street in front of your church, that's a fantastic way to get people's attention. And it gets the people that matter most, too, the ones that are driving right past your church. So those are always a great idea. Electronic media, don't forget this. This is a real gold mine when it comes to getting the word out these days. A church website is an absolute must. If you don't have one, you should get one. And it should be as visitor-friendly as possible. People who are thinking about coming to your church often are going to search on Google for your church website, and they'll look there first just to kind of check things out. Make sure that you have your service time super clearly marked, because that's what they're going to want to see first. Also good to have your church website, the name of the pastor, some pictures. A picture of the pastor is a good idea. Make it as visitor friendly as possible. It should just, when someone who's a stranger goes to visit that site, they should say, "Wow, that really looks like a neat place. I think I'd like to check that out." Radio and TV ads are a good idea. They're not as expensive as you might think, and especially if you have a good audio or video ministry, if you can put together some fantastic promos, that can really be very effective. It can really help get members of your community where they live. Just about everybody listens to the radio at some point. Email lists are a good idea. Very cost effective. It just doesn't cost very much money to put together email lists. Make sure that your church website has a place where they can sign up for an email list. And now a lot of the services that do email are so professional looking. It's just a great way to go. So really seriously considering put together a professional email list. Social networking sites are an absolute must too. If you're not on Facebook, you really should be. There should be a Facebook page for your church. I'm guessing with a contemporary service, you're probably going to be trying to reach a younger demographic, and most young folks are on Facebook and lots of other social websites, so your church should be too. It costs you absolutely nothing except a little bit of time. Twitter is also a fantastic opportunity for you. Costs nothing to do, and especially the very young generation would rather go without food for a day than without texting for a day. It's just a great way for you to send out very focused text messages, little super short emails to anybody who wants to sign up for them. And you could do like little bite-sized devotions. You could do little bite-sized announcements of things going on in the church. Just a super effective and very cheap way to get the word out about what's going on in your church. Now, we talked before about entry events. These are things that could specifically help people get involved. Children's events and programs are fantastic. Parents are looking for safe environments, safe things for their kids to do. If you provide a really neat program or event for them, they'll send them, and especially if it gives them a night out. If you do a program, put their kids on stage, and they really like what you're doing for their children, chances are you're going to get mom and dad involved too. It's just a gold mine entry into the church for a lot of young couples. Service projects and mission trips are also as well. If you have people that aren't involved in your church that have carpentry skills, and someone from your church says, hey, we're putting together a mission team to go to Haiti, and we could really use your carpentry skills to help out, chances are they're going to say yes, especially if your church is willing to help foot the bill. You'll get them involved. They'll help. They'll do a great job. And chances are they'll get involved with the church because they'll see the church as being relevant and outwardly focused. So those are also a great way to get people involved. Free concerts and movies. Make sure if you're going to show a movie that you have the proper license so that you're doing it legally. But if you hold free concerts and movies, a lot of times people can come in for those, especially if you give away free food. And it's just a way for them to mix and mingle with members of the church that are already there. Don't give a big high-pressure speech or anything, but have the pastor stand up and welcome everybody and tell them the service times and invite people if they're looking for a place to worship. Very effective. An ice cream social is a good idea too. Give away free ice cream in the summer and people will come. Same thing, just give a low pressure welcome and, hey, we've got these services. We have a new contemporary service. If you're interested in coming, you're welcome anytime. We'd be glad to have you here. Very effective. And it just gives people a very, low pressure, nice way to get to know everybody. And it's just very effective. Well, I hope one of these methods work for you. There are plenty here for you to choose from. Use a little creativity. You know your community better than anyone. And I hope something works out for you. But above all, don't ever give up. Our commission is to reach those who are unchurched, those who don't know Jesus Christ, and that's goal number one for us, whether it's through the contemporary service or by any other means. Well, good luck and God bless.